Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. And while my day job is all about algorithms and data, I'm an engineer and AI consultant. I am also Romanian, just like many of you here today. My goal is to try and bridge our two worlds, the world of medicine and the rapidly changing world of AI. We're going to talk about a very simple question. How do we get good with AI? So here's our plan. I want to keep this really pragmatic. We'll start with the big picture, the why this all matters. Then we'll dive straight into the how, a practical 4-pillar framework you can use, and finish with a simple first step you can take the moment you leave this room. Let's jump in. You see, we're living through something huge. It's not an overstatement to call it a new cognitive age. History has had a few of these moments, these great unlockings that just completely change the rules of how we access and process information. And to really understand what's happening now, I think it helps to look back at the milestones that got us here. The first one, the printing press. Before Gutenberg, knowledge was locked up, but the press democratized the written word. It unlocked words for everybody. Suddenly, authority wasn't just handed down from one single source. And this is really what Nietzsche was getting at when he famously said, "God is dead." He meant that the era of a single dogmatic truth was ending, and the age of scientific inquiry, of reading and challenging ideas for yourself, was beginning. Okay, fast forward a few hundred years to the internet. If the press unlocked words, Google unlocked facts. Any piece of information you could ever want right at your fingertips. But there was a side effect, wasn't there? When you have a flood of anything, its value plummets. The challenge wasn't a lack of information anymore, but an overwhelming amount of it. And a lot of that was disinformation. In a way, we could say, information is dead. And that brings us to today, with generative AI. This time, it's unlocking something even deeper than facts. It's unlocking thoughts. It can synthesize highly specialized knowledge and make it accessible to anyone. So now we might say, knowledge is dead. And what I mean by that, especially to this room of experts, is that expertise is no longer just about having knowledge. It's about how you create and leverage it with these new cognitive tools. So you can see the clear progression here, right? From unlocking words to unlocking facts, and now to unlocking thought itself. AI isn't just another tool, like a better calculator. It's becoming a partner in the way we think. Which leads to the most crucial point I want to make today. So much of the conversation is about AI replacing us. Honestly, that's the wrong conversation to have. The question isn't how smart is AI. The only question that matters for our professions is how much smarter can you be when you use it? This is the new skill we all have to learn, the skill of synergy. Now, this isn't some vague philosophical concept. Researchers are actually measuring this. They call it human-AI synergy. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a quantifiable, real-world uplift in your performance when you collaborate with an AI. It's not about how well the AI does, it's about how well the team, that's you plus the AI, performs. And just how big is this boost? Well, studies are showing an average performance increase of nearly 30% on complex tasks. Just stop and think about that for a second. 29%. Imagine summarizing the latest research or drafting patient communications almost a third faster. That's the tangible power we're talking about. So here's the key idea. Your ability as a world-class doctor and your ability to collaborate with an AI, they are two completely separate skills. You are already masters of everything in that first column. The second column, though, that's a new kind of literacy. But the great news is, the research shows it can be learned. It can be practiced. You know, psychologists talk about theory of mind. That's our human ability to guess what another person is thinking. Well, with AI, what we need is a theory of model. It's a subtle but crucial difference. This means you can't treat it like a human colleague. The skill is developing an intuition for how the model thinks, its strengths, its weaknesses, its weird quirks, and how to get the absolute best out of it. So how do we build this theory of model? I'm going to give you a simple functional framework. It's built on 4 pillars: awareness, interrogation, calibration, and synthesis. These are the core skills that will turn AI from a clever gadget into a true partner. Let's start with the first and most fundamental pillar, awareness. It's simple, really. You wouldn't delegate a complex task to a junior colleague without knowing what they're capable of. It's the exact same principle here. You have to know your partner. And that means having a very clear-eyed view of what these things can and can't do. They are brilliant at summarizing huge amounts of text, say the latest papers on interstitial lung diseases, but they can also just make things up. They hallucinate. They'll invent facts and citations with incredible confidence. So if you take away one thing today, please let it be this: fluency is not the same as truth. A beautifully written, confident-sounding sentence can be completely wrong. Awareness is your first line of defense. So once you're aware of what you're dealing with, you can start to engage effectively. This brings us to the next two pillars, which I've put together because they work in a really tight loop. Interrogation, which is the art of the dialogue, and calibration, the discipline of judgment. The best analogy for interrogation comes directly from your world. Treat it like hospital rounds. You don't just ask one question and accept the first answer you get. You probe, you challenge, you ask for evidence, you consider alternatives, you have a dialogue. You have to remember, the quality of your output is directly tied to the quality of your interrogation. Interrogation gets you the information, but calibration, well, this is where your expertise is absolutely essential. This is the constant, critical question you have to ask yourself. When do I trust this? You are the final authority. Your clinical judgment is what allows you to know when an AI suggestion is brilliant, when it needs to be verified, and when it's dangerously wrong and needs to be thrown out completely. And all of this leads us to the final and highest level skill. This is where the real synergy happens. This is synthesis. It's all about integrating the AI's insight into your own expertise. Now, synthesis is not copy-pasting an answer. It's about taking the AI's brainstorming on differential diagnoses and using it as a starting point to challenge or confirm your own thinking. It's taking its summary of a research paper and weaving it into a lecture you're preparing. You're not outsourcing your thinking. You're using the AI's output as an ingredient to enhance your own expertise and create something far better. So, we've covered the why and the how, from those big historical shifts all the way down to these 4 practical pillars. Now, I want to leave you with something you can use the moment you walk out of this door, a simple way to get started. Often, the hardest part is just knowing how to ask the right question. So, let the AI help you. This simple template turns the tables. You tell the AI your goal, and you ask it to become your partner in crafting the perfect prompt to achieve it. It's a simple trick, but it is such a powerful way to start practicing that art of interrogation from the very beginning. So I'll leave you with this final thought. The big fear is that AI will replace professionals like you. That is not the future I see. AI lacks your wisdom, your empathy, your critical judgment. But a great doctor who masters these 4 pillars will be faster, more effective, and ultimately more valuable than one who doesn't. The real digital divide won't be between AI and humans. It will be between the professionals who harness this technology and those who get left behind. The question is, are you ready? Thank you.